Well, g'day, Little Time to Talk family. This is Tim Power. It is absolutely lovely to have you listening today. Thank you. We're getting so many listeners from across the world. The United States is high on the list. I'm fascinated to see that in the Philippines and Thailand we have a great listenership. So it's wonderful. The Time to Talk family is growing a little bit. It ebbs and flows, doesn't it? Depending on what Madonna and Kylie and all the pop stars are doing. But yeah, this is the show where you can talk about celebrities, your favourite album, what they're talking about, what they're saying, who they're supporting, what their political views are. This is all about pop culture, and that's why you are now in the Fortress. We're about to talk to John. Now, if you didn't hear John's first podcast, I encourage you to go back and have a listen to it. It got tons of feedback. John was the man who said he wasn't going to listen to Tension 2. I got in touch with him because he gave it a -3 out of 10. And so I was curious, why would you give it that score? And then lo and behold, it turns out the man hasn't even listened to Tension 2, the album that I am absolutely obsessed with and always will be. I love it. And if you're a regular listener, you'll know that when John came on to explain why he gave it that -3, well, it turns out he was happily sipping on, what was it again? A apple cider and vodka, I think it might have been. Have a quick listen. My challenge, which I issue to you still, even though it's going to be hard for you to do, is to listen to Tension 2. Will you accept my challenge?
If it's going to lead me to... I will accept. If it's going to lead me to be able to do adjustment, yes.
It's going to lead you to something even better, John. Do you want me to tell you what it's going to lead you to?
Please do.
Okay, are you ready? It's going to lead you to pure orgasmic joy. Doesn't that sound good?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds delicious.
So, sounds every bit as good as that apple cider.
How many gay guys do you get by this? I'm
not coming on to you, John.
No, but that is so stupid.
So there was our friend John. Thank you for all your feedback. Shame on you if you said that John didn't have a right to be talking to us. Yes, he did. I don't care who you are, where you're from. You have a right to talk your mind. And John certainly did that. But here he is, he's back, and he has made good on his commitment to listen to Tension 2. However, I just want to say this. Keep listening, because even though we begin this conversation talking about Tension 2, we find out that there is a lot more to John than meets the eye. Have a listen. Hey, John, how are you?
I can hear... Can you hear me?
I sure can, my friend.
Okay, good, thanks. Yeah, I'm fine. I've got a bit of a cold still going on, so sometimes I have to blow my nose, but yeah, I'm fine otherwise, thanks.
That's all right. We all have to do it. And thank you for being patient. I had to make my tea. I'd love to give you a better excuse, but I was just brewing my tea. It's a whole thing. Takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, but I've been holding you for like 2.5 weeks, so yeah, no worries.
Now, the big question. Let's get straight to it. Tension 2. The last time you were on because you'd given it a -3. Then it turned out you hadn't listened to it, and I set you a challenge. I said, John, would you listen to Tension 2 and tell me what you really think? And I believe, drum roll everyone, John may have listened to Tension 2. Am I right?
Yes, I have. I have, Tim, yeah.
Amazing. Well, don't keep us in suspense.
The best track on the album for me, it would be Dance to the Music.
Yay, you're one of the first people to say that. I love it. And do you know what? That fits with our last conversation where I said some of them sound a little bit like early Kylie. Dance to the Music sounds to me like an Enjoy Yourself track with different production.
Yeah. a lesser production, of course. But yes, I understand. Yes, of course, yeah, and yeah, I get it. And so, well, from the beginning, lights, camera, action. That was the. I've heard that one sort of vaguely, and I have to say, I would give that song. It's actually not that bad, and I've got a scale from 1 to 5 here.
Good. What did you give lights, camera, action?
It's actually not that bad. I think there's a sort of catchy uh, instrumental tune in the beginning, and so I give that a 1 out of 5.
Oh,
So that wasn't too bad.
1 out of 5 is too bad, isn't it? Is one good or one bad in your scaling system?
No, one is well, one isn't really. Um,
It's
well, the
on the
thing is,
charts, but only just. Got it. Okay.
yeah, it's a 1 out of 5, and it's. But I'm saying it's not that bad, and then the rest will tell itself, I believe. And then you have the other one, Taboo, which I thought was sounded very much like Boney M. Um,
Wow, that's a good observation. Absolutely. I can hear that.
yeah, and it was very, but then it was very generic, complete album filler. I don't agree. I don't agree with the chords. The harmony of chords. I didn't get it with how they would stick together. But okay, never mind. Then was someone for me. I only listened to that up until the first chorus, and I was like, "Yeah, I got this track. Not a good one." Um,
Hang on. So you listened to Someone for Me up until the end of the first chorus, then you skipped.
yeah, because I would have got that track. It was yeah. I understand what they're trying to
You know
say.
that's going to be the next single, don't you?
Yeah, well, good for them or whatever. I don't know. Couldn't care less about that track. Then it got Gone as uh, Good as Gone or Gone as Gone, right? No, Gone as
Yeah,
Good. No, no,
yeah, you got it right the first time. Good as gone.
Good as Gone. Yes, I'm writing my stupid handwriting. Right, and that was the same bass all through the track, so I found that quite boring. Then you have the Kiss Bang Bang, and then I wrote. I was thinking that every song up until now ends quite abruptly. Like
That's
there's
true.
a yeah, and so it's just she says the title track at the very end of the track, and she just mentions the title, and then that's it. And I believe I found it to be snippets, all of them up until now, to be snippets from something to come. So I up until this track number 5, I thought of all of them as um, well, rather snippets from something else. I haven't been able to define them as anything um, more concrete in terms of words. And then you have Diamond,
Well, hang
and
on. So, what did you think of Kiss Bang Bang?
uh, very generic. I don't get the title really. Can you explain that to me?
I've been grappling with this. Look, the song is about wanting to capture someone's heart. So,
Mm.
kiss bang bang. I'm aiming for your heart tonight. Kiss bang bang, baby, kiss bang bang. We're heading for the stars tonight. The kiss bang bang, I think, means just, that moment. I don't know if John,
Surprising.
actually, you know what, John, I'm going to ask you something personal here. Have you ever had that moment in your life where you lock lips with someone or even just hands and there's an electricity where wow, this is cosmic. This was destiny. Have you ever had that moment?
No, sorry,
Oh, okay.
I don't think I have. But
Well,
um,
that's kiss bang bang in my opinion. I think once you lock lips and it's like, wow, this is it.
oh yeah, it might have happened to me. It was over in 10 or 15 minutes after that. So I can't recall why it was so magical in the beginning. But right,
Are you a romantic, John?
no, not really. No, I'm not a romantic guy at all. I
You're
don't
from
know.
Sweden, right? Are the
It,
Swedish generally more pragmatic, practical people, or can they be romantic?
they're more. They're more practical, yeah, and more pragmatic, and
Hmm.
it's like we say, Swedish people only get sort of they don't drink during the weekdays, but then Saturday they go, all for it and all in. So then they come out really, really drunk, and it's kind of like they don't. It's like we don't really know how to keep like a medium tone of everything, and then on Saturday night we just, it's just really hectic, and
Wow.
I don't know if that's got to do with the question really, but
Paddy, you're a man of extremes.
me, no, I mean. No, but just I like music that where I can follow the chords and I can see that there's I can see the thinking behind why these three chords are after each other, and I didn't get that sense in this album really. But
Fair enough.
what I did write was that about Diamond that as far as I come now, I cannot distinguish one track. I cannot distinguish one verse from one track to another because the verses here on this album sound pretty much the same, and they're built out of like I guess three or four chords, and they just turn and switch and tweak everything so it makes a new verse, and then this could be Diamond. The verse for Diamonds could really be the verse for Lights, Camera, Action, in my opinion. I don't really see the difference between them, and I could never pinpoint just by listening to the verse what kind of track this would be from Tension 2.
But how many times have you listened to it?
Once.
Well, come on now, my friend. It's a very cohesive album. I agree. There's a certain sound. Kylie fans have been aching for years for an album that has consistent sound. And after Padam
Right.
Padam, she said, "Yeah, we need to try to capture that sound." So I'm not surprised that you're feeling a theme.
Honest to God, I could write 10 tracks and they would be better than these.
You could write a better album than Tension 2.
Yeah, definitely.
Really? Wow. What
And
would you call it?
I don't know, better tension perhaps. But well, let's not break the tension.
John's new Kylie album, Relief.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's not break concentration. Just move on. Well, moving on then. Yeah, and then I think it was Dance to the Music, which I thought was good. This is the best track here, and I will give this 3 out of 5, which I think is the best grade I could ever give on an album like this. Then we have some really, Then comes Air on a Saturday Night, right?
No. You missed something. Left you on the dance floor.
I left you on the dance. Well, that sorry, yeah.
What do you think of that one?
Yeah, that one straight from one ear and out the other. Didn't get that at all.
And I'm going to take you back. I'm sure you didn't mention Hello.
Hello?
Mm.
Oh yeah, I did. Wait. Let me just see what that was. Hello?
I'll give you a version while you're looking for it.
Hello, I am at your door. I know you're awake, and it's close to 4. Let me in, I am the why you are still awake. You and I make a big mistake. Hello.
Yeah, I got it now. Well sung.
I thought that would have helped. Thank you.
Yeah, because there's this kind of like after she says that hello, there's a section where there's a tune kind of like, or a couple of chords coming in, and I think that was the same. I reflected on that. Yeah, it was the same as someone for me also has a section where she a catchy sort of bass or something, and
Almost
then,
like a pre-chorus, right? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And then I didn't know what to call it really. And then, but hello wasn't really as good as I. The title spoke immensely to me, like hello, but it wasn't exactly Lionel Richie. It was something else, and which I. Once you can imagine my surprise when I thought it was going to be that one, but it wasn't. And of
Yeah, I
course,
don't think that would have fit on Tension 2.
No, of course no. But let me just go to Edge on a Saturday night,
Hmm.
which um, this sounds like a. There's a video to that one as well,
Yes.
uh, and it sounds like one of those weekends where young people just they come to a very luxurious home and someone's parents are off, and then they have the house for themselves and they do they party all.
Unspeakable things in every room.
Yeah, exactly. And Edge on a Saturday Night sounds like a Brat's weekend without sex, drugs, or rock and roll.
Oh,
Yeah, it stands out as I would give that a 2 out of 5. It's for being this album. It sort of is my next to second favorite.
did you listen to all these songs on a good sound system or just out of your phone?
No, I had my. That was why it took such a long time for me because my sound system broke down, and as I think I wrote to you a week ago, and I had to buy a new one because I listen to music, so I had to buy a new speaker, and um,
That's a
all of
big
the
event for a
sounds.
music lover, buying a new speaker. What brand did you buy?
What's that called? It wasn't. Oh, well, it was secondhand. It says Harman Kardon on it. Um,
Okay. Got good sound?
Yeah, a very good sound. Yeah,
Excellent,
extremely good sound
excellent.
and good bass. So I took your advice and listened to this album sort of carefully, and with good speaker and good bass and whatever, and just to hear
Good
everything.
man. Good
And
man. So that was Edge of Saturday Night. Then you were about to tell us probably about Midnight Ride.
yeah, that's the worst track on the album. Absolutely, this is a disgrace. I mean, this is really.
Oh no, poor
This is
Orville.
yeah, this is yeah. I agree. It's awful. It's
No, I
definitely.
said poor Orville.
Oh
Not.
yeah, sorry.
In
Well,
fact, that's happened in another podcast where John, I know you won't care about this story, but I'm going to tell it. The first time I was listening to that song, I had a friend in the car who was going, awful, awful. And I went, excuse me, you've only heard it once. How do you say it's awful when you've only listened to 30 seconds? And she pointed to the screen and went, no, awful, awful.
yeah.
So, yeah, not the first time I've misheard Orville as
No, no.
awful. I'd change my name if it was Orville and people kept calling me awful.
Yeah, yeah, or just people just get used to it, really. But yeah, exactly. Now, this is the
Awful,
worst track
awful.
on the album for definite, and I I think it's got a good voice. I think it's nothing wrong with him. The singing, the performances of the track from both parties are good. It's just a this track. This is one of the worst tracks I've heard from Carly in since stopped listening to her and sort of just got her via Facebook videos. Scrolling up and down, and you go and there's a Carly video that I wouldn't look for myself. And
Yeah.
this is clear. This is definitely one of the worst tracks I've ever heard. It's uh, yeah. I
How
actually can't.
sad. Diplo produced it too. And Diplo's
Sorry.
a legend. Diplo produced it, and he's a legend. So it's very sad. But you mustn't like the country twang, maybe.
No, no. I mean, they could have sung this in Swahili or whatever, but
You still wouldn't have liked it. So do you own cowboy boots?
no, I don't.
Well, there you go. Well, if you don't own cowboy boots, this was never going to appeal to you. All right, now next track. So we had Edge of Saturday Night.
Yeah.
I keep calling it Ticket to Ride because it's a board game that I play, but
Mhm.
Midnight Ride. And then we moved to My Oh My. What do you think of My Oh My?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I think. Wait, I might have got this mixed up. This is the worst. This is the worst track.
Sorry,
This.
listeners, are you following this? Every time John gets to the next track, it's a new worst. It's the new worst. But I
Yeah.
can't blame you. With My Oh My, I think it's hideous.
This is the worst track of all, and I've seen the video when I listened to this because on YouTube there was a video to the track, and I am from Sweden, and I can't say how embarrassed. I mean, this is a shitty album altogether. Yes, I'm not that embarrassed. I knew it was going to be a shitty track, but I guess that the girls. What's her name from Sweden?
Tuvalu.
How do you pronounce that in Swedish? But
Tuvalu. I'm
yeah,
very native. I'm very fluent in my Swedish. Thank you.
yeah. No, but
How
I
would you
mean,
say it? How would you say it?
Tuvalu.
Isn't that what I just said?
Well, it
People?
is, yeah.
I'm looking
Never
around.
mind. But this
Over
is really
there.
the worst
Isn't that
track.
what I just said? Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, no, the audience is just confirming. Yeah, that's what I said. Sorry,
Uh,
carry on, John.
is this? Yeah, but I mean, didn't she have something to do with writing this as
Oh,
well?
probably. When I don't like a track as much as I don't like My Oh My, I don't even look at the credits. If I'd bought it on CD back in the day, I wouldn't have bothered opening up the case and pulling out the sleeve to read it. I wouldn't have bothered.
No. But I mean, no, this is
Although
actually
I
the
do like
worst.
Tuvalu, I'll make that really clear. They had another collaboration, Really Don't Like Me, and you'd probably like that song. It was, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago now. Really Don't Like Me, Tuvalu and Kylie Minogue. It was great. Love that one. It's got a video as well. Pretty terrible video, but
But
yeah.
where did Carly find her?
In Sweden, apparently.
Yeah, but you don't have to go, you know, searching with a,
They ran into each other at a Starbucks at the airport in Sweden.
they did.
Yeah, absolutely. She was ordering a chai latte, and the other one, Tuvalu, was just having green tea. She was on a diet at the time.
Oh, was she? Okay. Well, what girl isn't?
Whenever I listen to Tim and his panel of guests, my toes begin to curl, and I feel just the right amount of tingling all over my aching body. Now, let's get back to the show.
Let's just rewind. I gave you a challenge to listen to Tension 2. You've
Yeah.
been very honourable. I pestered and pestered and pestered, and now, John, you are one of many people on planet Earth who knows just how pestering I can be. Then you finally relented and you said, okay, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it. I think you went into it with a bad attitude, but look, I can't do anything about that. But now that you have listened to it, summarize it for us. Be really honest. Would you listen to it again?
No.
Oh, come on now, man. I think you'd love it if you did. But anyway, there's my pestering starting again. I can't ask for any more. You listened to it, you've reviewed it, and you really just think it's... What would you give the whole thing out of 10?
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10?
Yeah, and
Oof.
that's to large camera action and dance to the music.
Yeah. So, listeners, let us know what you think of John's review. Time to Talk Australia at outlook.com. Send me a voice memo if possible, because then I can add it to the next show. John, really quickly before you go, I've noticed you're selling some awesome stuff. I don't know if it's already sold, but Kylie 80s singles and CDs and cassettes. Are you still selling stuff?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Where did you notice this, on Facebook or Instagram or?
I have no clue. I can never remember where I saw stuff. I just remember thinking, wow, John's got some really awesome, I think I saw Especially For You, and just these European versions of singles that I thought, some of those might be worth a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I could do a show on that. Collecting Carly from the 80s. But it's true. Yeah, I do sell, and thanks for the pitch on that, because I do sell, and on both Facebook, I've got some new ads coming up. I'm joining Carly groups, and I'm a bit of a loner in those groups, but and
Why
I
are
do
you
think
a
that.
loner? Why would you say you're a loner in a Kylie group?
Because I don't sell stuff with Carly after 1992,
Yeah,
basically.
okay, got it. So, John, have you had fun talking to me? People loved your last conversation.
Yes, I've had great fun talking to you, and I'm sorry that was so late in giving an awful review. I should have done this a long time earlier if I knew how horrible this album was. I should have, yeah, yeah, great for having me on, Tim, and sorry for being so late with this. In anyhow, but and I've
You
had a good
can't help
time.
being sick. Can't help being sick.
No, what was the other question? People said they. Were you saying, is this a joke? They liked hearing me talking about this before.
Yes, they did. Well, Because we don't all have to agree. They might not have liked what you had to say about like the fact that you hadn't listened to it at that stage, but they appreciated the way you said it. They liked our conversation.
I'm good. Good.
Well, you're a good man, John. Can I ask you, are you off to work or something now? Or it's probably late over there in Sweden, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of like 20 past 9 p.m. here.
What do you teach, John? What do you teach?
Swedish, yeah.
Oh, of course. I think you did tell me that last time.
Yeah, yeah. I might have done, yeah.
In high schools or in primary schools?
High schools, yeah.
Very good. Tough gig sometimes, teaching, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
You need a good shrink. You need to earn a lot of money so you can afford that shrink. Because
You need to earn a good living just so you can afford the debrief afterwards.
yeah, exactly.
How do you maintain discipline in your classroom?
Yeah, if you're asking me if I do, if I did, yes, I do maintain discipline in my classroom. I do that. It's kind of like my thing, discipline. Really, I don't know. Really, sometimes I think, what are they really? I mean, what do I really teach them? But at least they know to shut up well when I say so, and that sometimes I use, sometimes I swear, sometimes I. Perhaps step out of the boundaries, but over the boundaries, but I don't. I'm always. They think I'm a nice person,
Oh, I
right?
hope so.
Fair and nice. Yeah.
When you step over that boundary, when you put your toe on that line and cross it a little bit, what does that look like?
Well, kind of like for Christmas a couple of years ago, was one class. I was in high school then, yes, and I did a. I wanted to do a Christmas thing for them. The last class we had before Christmas leave,
Yep.
and so I played 10 music videos from the 80s, and they were supposed to in groups. They were supposed to sort of grade every video, like the singer, the track itself, and then they were supposed to compare their grading to mine, because I graded them as well at the same time, and the group that had the closest number to mine won.
Oh no, that doesn't sound very fair. I was thinking, what a great exercise, but
Yeah, but it didn't
instead they
turn out to
weren't
be
really
well
they weren't really grading the videos; they were grading you.
in a way, but they. So when you play videos with Samantha Fox from the 80s, and in Sweden she was huge here, but you and there's no real, like, she's not showing anything, but she's really busty.
You didn't play "Touch Me," did you?
No, I didn't, because I don't really. I've heard that song too many times, but I did. I did play "Nothing's Gonna Stop Me Now." And I had
That's
Carly in
better.
that video run. I had Sunita. I had Bon Jovi. I had Van Halen. I had Michael Jackson. But I knew that Samantha Fox was going to be an odd one out. So that's when parents sort of got to phone the principal, like, why is my kid watching a girl called Samantha Fox today, and why is this teacher showing these sort of suspicious videos?
You
Yeah,
got some complaints.
yeah, definitely. But this is really stupid, because I mean, she was really huge then here, and all of the videos are like, there's nothing X-rated in them, and I didn't get the point. But
But tell me this: so that when the principal comes and says, "Look, I've had some phone calls and I need to talk to you about this,"
Mhm.
what's that conversation?
I tried to stand my ground. I did try to stand my ground. Um, Unfortunately, that principal was a woman 10 years younger than me. I'm 48 soon. So she wasn't really that sort of, yeah, Samantha Fox you might have heard of, but she wasn't really when it happened, when it happened. So it wasn't a name for her, but she just got it from the parents. And the parents are the same age as me nowadays. But she just got the criticism from parents, and that was you stand your ground, and then you say, I won't do that mistake again, sorry.
Okay, so you conceded it was an error and you wouldn't do it again.
No,
Wow,
I
who
don't
would
see
have
that
thought
was
that?
an error. You just say, you just say, I apologize, but you don't really mean it.
Okay.
No. Why could I not play a great track like Nothing's Gonna Stop Me Now with Smart Fox to the kids? I can't see the problem in that.
Well, I'm a parent with a child in high school. Let me tell you what my problem with it might be. It might be, okay, my daughter's going off to an English class here, over there, a Swedish class. My
Hmm.
question, I wouldn't have a problem with it actually, but my question would be, how is this helping my daughter to learn Swedish? And I'm sure you'd have an answer for that.
Yeah, because this isn't really a teaching. This wasn't a teaching moment. This was just doing something fun before Christmas leave.
Right. Got it. Got it.
So that was why we did the videos, because you could rather do. I mean, you could do this, or I could do grammar with you again. And of course, he also no, show us videos, show us videos. It's like, yeah,
You poor thing. Teachers do have it tough. The parents make huge judgment calls and they're not even in the room. It's
exactly.
fascinating, I have to say. Fascinating. And how long ago was this incident?
Was that 3 years ago?
Yeah. But you enjoy teaching generally?
No, not really.
Oh, really? What would you prefer to be doing with your life?
I would like to write music or just write. I do try and write novels, some short stories sometimes. Um, in Swedish, you say uh, novels, but that's like a long book in your country, and you say short stories. Yeah, so short stories and music is kind of like my aim. And no, I've never really liked kids. I've never been fond of kids. No, no.
The obvious question, why did you choose teaching if you're not fond of kids?
Oh well, because I'm that old I'm that kind of old fashioned in my upbringing that you needed to have something to make an income of.
A steady profession, yeah.
Yeah, you need to have a steady income, and that steady income, and that's why I did some teaching, like I was doing sub teaching, and I thought, well, I could do this just being a sub teacher, because then you don't have to do any. There's no responsibility doing that. You just step in and step out. But then I realized, okay, this could be you can make a living of this, and you have that idea for like a week, and just boom, 20 years after, you realize you've done this is what you know now, this is your life,
Mm,
and
mm.
that's your life just going away.
Sounds like you have some regrets.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. What would you have done differently? I know that your aim is to write and music. Sounds like creativity is a big part of you, and it feels like that creativity has been boxed, and that's your
Hmm.
regret. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, in a way you could say that. Yes, definitely. I wouldn't it would be unfair of me to say you're wrong, so I'm going to say you're right. It wouldn't be honest to myself to say wrong. Nobody knows me in this show that you. So I mean, why wouldn't I tell the truth? Um,
But tell
um,
me this: is there something you could do to let some of that creativity out? Is there some change you could make to make sure you're getting a little bit more satisfaction out of life?
yeah, I guess I yeah, there are things I could do. Yeah, and I've done a few things, and I've um, I've written a book, and it was a long time ago, but it did actually come out in Sweden, and then it was boxed in for some reason, and then whatever. But I needed to write another book. Um, uh, just to follow up the first one, and I didn't. I started working
What
as
was
a
the first book about? Was it a fiction?
no, no. It was a real story about a. It's a real story about a relationship I had, and yeah, but
What was special about that relationship that made you think it would be interesting enough to write a book about?
because the woman I was involved with was 52 years older than me.
52 years older than you.
Yeah,
How old were you?
I was 24. Yeah, she was 72, but it wasn't really like, but I thought, yeah, this could probably work if I write it down. This was a bit of a therapy for me to write it down, you know.
I bet it was a therapy for you. So, did it leave you with some scars?
Yeah, a few ones, but so that was it was therapeutic to do it, but I think that it was a good thing to write about, and at the time it seemed to be the right thing.
Can I
Um,
ask, if you're 26, how is it? What does it feel like having sex with a woman in her 70s?
well, um, we could do another show about this if you want to, but I can't sort of prolong. Um, it feels like it depends on how much you've had to drink before, but if you're doing it completely sober, I guess it feels strange and weird, I guess.
How did
And
she feel about it? Did she enjoy it?
y- yeah, I guess. I
I
mean,
suppose if I want to learn more, I've got to read your book.
you can't read it. It's actually been, I don't know, you say, well, when a company sort of, a publishing company sort of destroys the book, they sort
Right,
of burn it. Yeah.
right. Why did they do that?
Because they didn't want it to be released in Sweden, even because I think there are only like 6 existing copies of this book in my country. And I've, besides the 4 copies I have, uh, and then they printed like 1,000, and then um, they gave 100 books to journalists to review, and then the rest didn't didn't get make it to the shops really because they didn't want to promote the book, and
Was
I
it too
guess
controversial? Is that why?
no, because she was a very famous woman in this country. She was a famous
Oh,
writer herself.
I see. I
Yeah.
see.
So my parents knew about it. I mean, my parents knew about this woman, and a lot of other parents or people in this country at that age, sort of reaching 80 now, they know about this woman. And even a lot of younger people know about this woman. But, you wouldn't, if you talk to someone who's 30, I would say no.
She wouldn't be alive anymore, I'm
No,
assuming.
no, she died. She died.
Yeah, yeah. And so, when at the time of releasing this book or trying to, was the concern that no matter what you'd done with the writing, it might be she might be easily identifiable.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes. It was already out in the papers before the book came out.
Oh, so you didn't even change the names.
No, I had to change the names because it was out in the papers and because it was about her. I changed the names in the book. And
So were you prompted to write the book because there was some sort of media interest in the story first? And so you went, okay, well, if there's
no, no,
interest, I'll write the book? No?
no, I wrote the book first. And then my publishing company wanted to promote the book. And then it came out. And
Well,
it was like having.
did she threaten legal action? Is that what
Oh,
happened?
yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so all of that, all the payment I was given by the publishing, my advance was actually used to, I think it was used to pay off her lawyers, basically.
Wow.
Yeah,
So you made nothing out of this venture,
nothing at all.
but you still have the book, your own copies.
Yeah, I've got 4 copies left, I think.
Are you
3.
proud of the book?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, for being 25 or 26 when I wrote it, it was a good book. It was good, yeah, it was. And it didn't actually get that, from it after a year, in after being disqualified, if you can say that, and after a year after that, I did get some good reviews by some of the critics that the book was sent out to.
Oh, great.
Um, uh, but they sent it to 100 people. 12 of them would actually review the book. I think 8 of them said it was shit, and 1 year later, 4 other people came forward and said it was okay.
Why was it? Was she married
No,
when
she
she
was
was?
no, she was a widower, and she had She lived alone. She had a very huge, apartment in the city of Stockholm, like the center, like a nice address, that kind of stuff. And
So
yeah,
was the media interest purely because of the age difference, or were there other reasons why this was a little bit scandalous and a little bit taboo?
I think it was mostly about the age business. And then, of course, she had four sons, and they didn't want me to inherit any money of hers. So I guess that was in my book caused one of his sons to write a book about her, his relationship as a son.
Mm.
And so it kind of like spurred other things to happen. But my book, my own book, was complete. A no seller, no show, or whatever. And but it's an experience that I've had, and it's over 20 years ago. And no, it's not over. It's about what is it 20? It's 18 years ago. Yeah.
So you were with her for quite some time,
No, only 3 years.
but enough time for family to be worried that this was a legal relationship where you could have lay claim to inheritance.
Yeah, well, yeah, if she would have done so, but she had her own protective uh, guardians, basically, who helped her protecting her from me if there was any money involved or whatever. Yeah.
And this woman, be fair to say, at some stage in Sweden was a household name,
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
and is still known by a lot of people, even since her passing, of a certain age group, that is.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Wow. You've had an amazing life, John.
Well, could have been even more amazing. I could have had could have had lots more money to buy Kylie records for than I have. But
You could have had lots more money, what, if you had got some of her inheritance, or if you'd
no,
done something different?
if the book had sold.
Right, right.
Yeah. I never wanted her money. I just, if the book had been a success, yeah.
Is there enough time passed where there's enough public interest now and maybe it's safer? Could you go back and revisit this project?
Yeah, probably. Some of the journalists around then aren't even alive now. So, some of the ones that were from her generation, my parents' generation, they're not alive today,
Oh.
maybe. And, I think people saw it as someone, me being, a gold digger, getting together with an older lady that had money and sort of using her, and then
Was there
trying
any
to.
truth in that? Was there any allure of her wealth and her fame for you when you were 26 and you entered into this relationship?
Oh yeah, definitely. I didn't know. I didn't know that she was that famous. I didn't know that my mum knew who she was, or my dad knew who she was. I met her on my own accord, and then it came to me that I put two and two together, and okay, it's this one. Okay, now I get who you are, and because I didn't read books at that age. I mean, I didn't, I read books, but not. She wrote for women, so I didn't read that kind of literature. She wasn't a name known to me.
Hi, this isn't Kylie Minogue, and I love listening to Time to Talk.
And who seduced who, would you say?
Me, I did, definitely, because no, I thought she was extremely funny. We shared the same kind of sort of black humor, and so I thought she was really funny. I miss her sometimes. I do miss her sometimes. The way we used to laugh together, and that was the real intimate thing. The way two people can connect. And but I knew it wasn't going to last, and she knew that too. That it was all just a play. It's a game, and you both get into that with no strings attached, and then all of a sudden people have strings attached. uh, you know, they have hidden agendas. I didn't have a hidden agenda when I met her. I didn't know who she was, but when I wrote the book, Yeah, definitely. I wanted to make money, but life taught me a lesson there. So yeah,
Did you ever sell your story to a newspaper or magazine or publication?
no,
No, just wrote the book, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Did she open your eyes to a world that a lot of us think about? People who listen to this show love the world of celebrity and fame and wealth to a degree. I'm assuming she had all of that. So you, by proxy, were experiencing that world.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't, Donald Trump. It was a woman that was famous in Sweden. So, I mean, if you just have to boil down the amount of celebrity status or whatever to Swedish level in Stockholm. But yeah, she was known in this country and probably Norway, Scandinavian countries. Yeah, but it was an opener it was an eye opener for me that I could access that world. Me being from a suburb to Stockholm, I come from a very good home. I do, but there were things she had that I'd never seen, or that she did to me that I hadn't done. Buying clothes or stuff or computers or whatever, and treating me like I was a king.
And
Yeah.
was it a secret relationship, or did you go to the opening of parties on her arm, so to speak?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
She'd go out in public and you were by her side. So she didn't
Yeah.
try to hide this relationship at all.
No, 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 no. She was quite. I think she was quite proud over it, and then over it in the beginning because um, Mum told me that before I was born, um, she was known to be out with younger blokes, really. And
Yep.
so once she met me, when she was that old and I was that young, she kind of like broke her own record. So
What do you think? Well, let's cut to it. What was she getting out of the relationship? She clearly liked your sense of humor, but what do you think she was getting out of that relationship?
oh, not the sex. Uh, but
Why do
she
you say not the sex? Because let's people listening will think that I'm being crass, but I am trying to imagine what she would have been getting out of this relationship, and yeah, virile sex comes to mind, and you're saying no, that's not what she was getting out of it.
no, it's not. It's her own. No, no. As I said, she broke her own record, and she had the chance to show it. And at the time, I mean, I've never been good looking, but I was decent looking. But I think it was she could sort of strut me around, but uh,
I
but
say,
flaunt if you want, you know,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It's a
me and
status symbol, right?
yeah, and
And did you make her feel attractive?
yeah, I guess so. And at one party, celebrity party, there was one other grand old dame coming up to us and saying to her, oh, what's his name? I'd like one of him too. Uh, and
Wow.
so yeah, definitely that was what she got out of it. That was, and to be, to have someone to care for, to have someone to buy dinner for, to a guy that could just, here's a 3 meal course or a 5 meal course if you want, and then you can get free beers or whatever you want to have afterwards, or just splash money on basically.
So there's companionship, status, and
Yeah.
for you in this lifestyle, wow, you must have lapped it up. I can only imagine it must have been an amazing 3 years for you.
Yeah, I mean both yes and no, I guess in hindsight, but yeah, it was. There were some good times, definitely. And I mean, I got to go to restaurants in Sweden, in Stockholm, that I would never have done. I mean, I didn't even know they existed, and I could never have afford. I could never have afford. I could never have afforded to go to these
Mm.
places. Can't speak otherwise. So yeah, it was an
But
opportunity.
you said writing the book was therapeutic. What were these wounds that you took from the relationship? Did you feel used by the end? Did you?
I wanted to get back to her with something. I didn't think the way she treated me in the end was was good. it wasn't a good sort of farewell, and I wanted to get back at her in some way, and I planned that very carefully. But when you write a book, in the book, I portray myself as someone who's, um, someone that has a lot of problems, issues himself. I'm not an angel in the book, and you can't write a book about someone and expose that person if you're going to be perfect yourself.
Why did the relationship end badly? Did she start distancing herself from you?
No, she found someone that was younger and better looking than me.
Wow. And how did you find out about that? Did she tell you up front?
Yeah, I met the guy. I mean, several, people that, it was kind I don't know, you call this in Australia, but, what do you call that? When you get older people get some, people that come to your home and clean the kitchen and, what's that called?
Like a cleaner or a maid or something like that?
Maids, yeah, but
Yeah.
male maids.
Right. So you'd seen this guy in the house doing a paid job,
Yeah.
and you had no idea that they were on together though at the beginning.
No, I didn't know. But she was quite, sort of a person that uses other people in a way that, now I've done you and now I'm after the next. She was in a way, a user, and I was a user too. But she knew that game before me because she was a lot older and she'd done that game before me. So when time came for me to be exchanged, I wasn't really prepared. But I figured that okay, this has been going on too long, and my mum and dad wasn't really happy about it. I was still living at home. Oh no, gosh, I actually moved to my own place. Yeah, I actually lived on my own. I didn't live at home.
When the relationship ended, did you feel that you should have been compensated for that? And were you compensated for that? Was there any sort of settlement, so to speak, or gift?
No, no, nothing. No, and I was quite happy that it wasn't because I felt at the time, after 3 years, I felt that this is something that I can live without. It's been good, and now someone else has taken my place, or I don't know if it's taken my place, but she's expressed that I'm not as good as I was 2 years ago, and that is enough to move on for me.
But I'm just, you've been so honest in when you talked about why you wrote the book. You said you needed to get back at her, an element of revenge.
I was more honest when I talked about tension, I have to say. But okay, it struck me as more awful. But okay, yeah. So what was the question again?
Your motivation for writing the book, you wanted to get back at her.
Yeah, I felt that I could, if I could swing this by, this could be a good book.
Mm.
And it could do well for me. I could do something with that. And I could, I could be someone. And I didn't care if my first book would be a debut that was built on someone else's status. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that I wasn't trying to make money because I was trying to make money. I was, and it's not because she didn't give me any compensation. I didn't want that. I wanted to make something of this. At the same time, it sort of gave me more therapeutically to write the book.
How explicit did you get in this book? Did
Not
you give embarrassing details about her? Did it reveal your sex life with her? Did it reveal her relationship with her family members? How explicit was this book?
I would say from 1 to 5 or 3 because I didn't say anything about intimate stuff. I didn't bring her down in any way. I brought myself down more, I guess, in that way. Yeah.
I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I feel like I'm talking to a person who feels that he could have done a lot better, that maybe he deserved a lot more, and believes he is worthy of more praise and attention and possibly celebrity.
Yeah, of course I do that sometimes. Yeah, but I mean, I can't do those thoughts all the time. That'll just make you, you know, uh, more. I don't know, aggressive. I guess in my case, but I'm.
Did you ever want fame, John? Did you ever want fame?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, definitely. 20 years ago, yes. Today, no, I don't want people to know what I look like. I don't want people to. I mean, I'm doing this interview to an audience in Australia. I would never do this interview in Sweden.
Did you just want fame full stop, or did you want fame because of a particular talent or in a certain area?
Yeah, I wanted to be famous because I think I'm a good writer. Yeah,
You wanted to be a famous author.
yeah, author. Yeah, so yeah, that's what you say, author. Yeah, and I
So it's
have.
not too late, right?
No, it's not. And I did do another book after that. It wasn't really they well, it didn't get released because it was too late. I want to be proud of my authorship, if you can say that. If I do something, if I write books, to say no, no. I mean, today on my Instagram there are like 2 pictures of me. The rest is all of my records.
So, John, when we first talked, some people were like, oh, he doesn't even listen to Tension 2. But as it turns out, like every human being, there's a lot more to you than meets the eye.
Yeah, but too. There's more to a person than what meets the eye, definitely. Yeah, and I'm sure you also have great stories yourself. So yeah,
The only reason I feel a little bit sad after talking to you, and thank you for talking to me. But the only reason I'm feeling a little bit sad is because I know that I'm talking to someone who sits with quite a heavy burden of regret.
yeah, might be true. Yeah, well, yeah, sure.
And then the question is, what do you do with that?
You, I don't know. One way of dealing with it is that you compare yourself to other people, and realize that you got your own home, you can pay your rent, and then you sort of come up a bit, and
Sure.
and people get injured in the most terrible ways. The people are children at war, whatever, and so then you get up, you rise to plus minus one,
Mm, mm.
and then after that, when you get up to the Western standards, and you try to think of how the fuck can Western people be unhappy, you know, today
Yeah,
in
yeah.
countries like rich countries like Sweden, Australia, England, whatever. But it's actually true that Western people can be extremely unhappy because of other reasons, and that's something interesting which I'm trying to focus on in a new book. Why Western people can, you say, okay, you've got a problem. Okay, that's the Western problem. That's kind of like a joke in Sweden. Okay, that's a
First world problems.
yeah, yeah, and we say Western problem. Yeah, exactly. And but if you dig deep into that, there are our society is structured that. At first you feel you want to be someone, you want to do this and this and this, and since I think that what I can say today is that I don't want to go to Swedish celebrities parties anymore or celebrity parties, because there are no celebrities in Sweden any longer. So they all died out. So who's going to be there? Some fake was
TV star.
Sorry.
Some fake TV star.
Yeah, exactly. And also that I've already done I've done that sort of hustle thing, that kind of thing with this celebrity I was with for 3 years. So it's kind of like I actually don't want to do it again. And I don't want to go back to drinking the way I did then. I don't want to, when you're 26 years old and the Swedish television actually phones up and says they want to make a documentary. They want to put me and this woman on a plane for a month filming on the French Riviera because they want to do a movie about us.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that gets cut off. And then when you do a book, that gets cut off. So you have these illusions that, okay, this is going to be so big. But the problem is you can't grip it. You can't really grip it. You have a problem. Sorry, 2 seconds. Sorry, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get your head around this. Everything to you is just about success. Having a free paid holiday, but you don't get the backside of it. If you flip the coin, you don't get that side because you just do. You just go on and on and on. And I'm not talking like big money here. I'm just talking, being famous in Melbourne. Yeah,
Yeah. Look, I've also given a lot of thought to that question about essentially what is happiness. You started with a question for your next book. You said, why is it that in Western countries where things on the surface appear to be so good and we have access to so much, why is depression and mental health issues and unhappiness so prevalent? In my reading and research and traveling around this topic, what I seem to find is that contentedness is
Mm-hmm.
measured by when people feel A, that they are connected to community, B, that their hopes and dreams are achievable, and
Mm-hmm.
C, that they have access to mastery, which is doing something that they love. You don't even have to be good at it, but doing something you love. If you go to Vanuatu or some other nations that aren't as affluent, you see people smiling because they are surrounded by their village, they're surrounded by
Mm-hmm.
their community, they have everything that they need. They're not impoverished, because that is a whole different conversation altogether.
Yeah,
They're not impoverished. They have what they need and they're content with what they have.
yeah,
Western culture, and this podcast talks about this, celebrity culture is part of, it's ingrained into Western culture, is very much about aspiration. And you feel, and you really do, and I must admit, to my shame, I still feel this, even at this tender age that I'm at, that if you haven't got the big white house with
yeah,
5 bathrooms and
yeah,
30 bedrooms and a gift wrapping room, if you haven't got fame, if you haven't got people knowing who you are, you feel like, wow, something slipped away. I did something wrong. It's not true. So we're sold a myth, we're sold a lie, and that can lead to unhappiness, I would have thought.
yeah. I completely agree. I think that's and but once at some point you realize you don't need a 5 bedroom house, um, and
Or it's not the mark of your character, at least. It's not the mark of who you are.
no, I could
It
do with
doesn't.
4, but or at least 3
I want a
bathrooms.
second bathroom.
Yeah, yeah.
I know,
Who the
definitely. I
hell
don't know
doesn't
how
want?
anyone lives with just one, and I do somehow.
I want a bathroom with a window. That's all I wish for.
That would
You
be,
know,
see, we've got small dreams, you and I. I agree.
yeah,
I went to a friend's house recently and they let me stay overnight because I was traveling through da 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 da. And I went into their bathroom. First of all, very humble home, nothing special, but they'd done their bathroom with slate and beauty. It was just beautiful. But when you went in the shower,
yeah,
the the window just open, all the steam would just go straight out the window. Oh, luxury. See, I
yeah.
don't need to be Tory spelling. I just want, like you, I just want a bathroom in my window. That's the name of your new book, John. A bathroom in my window. No,
Yeah,
sorry, a window in my bathroom.
yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go and buy myself a walk-in bath now. But
Yes.
yeah, exactly. No, but no, but I completely agree with you, and I think that um, I could go on this show. You've got a lovely show if you talk about, if, as I see it, life, meaning of life. Kylie
Well, I didn't
Minogue.
intend to. I can assure you of that. The listeners are probably scratching their head. How the hell did this conversation come up? But that's just what happens. We start with tension two. We start with John, and every person has a story, and every person has a soul. And I really like yours. Actually, I
Yeah, but it's
really
only us
really
two
like
listening
yours.
now.
What was that?
It's only us two listening now. All the others have left.
It's a
I
very
mean,
intimate. Just two people listening to this. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But John, look, I have really enjoyed talking to you. I hope we can talk again. You've given us your verdict. I can't applaud you enough for listening to Tension 2. I'm a bit
Mhm.
sad about your verdict, but it is what it is.
But and then afterwards, when you came to know me as a person, it was no obvious. It was an obvious. I mean, was that a surprise that I would be a negative towards a happy album? No.
Because John's essentially saying he's dead inside, and how could he enjoy anything light? No,
Yeah.
look. No,
Yeah.
I totally respect that Tension 2 is not for everyone.
Just one last question: why was there even a Tension 2 album?
You asked me this last time.
Did I ask you that? Well, you didn't answer me properly, because why is there even a Tension 2? Just to cram in those other three hits you had recently?
No, look, I mean, she would never say this, but it's just pure clever strategic marketing. In the United States, where she's never really got a foothold,
No.
I mean, obviously she had her fever moment there, but Tension and Padam Padam, bang, Kylie Minogue's image pops into people's heads, and that's what celebrity's all about. You want that. It's marketing 101. So if she's announcing a world tour where she's going coast to coast in the United States, which she is for the first time in her career, and she's not diluting the show, she's taking the full enchilada over there, then she must have the word tension somewhere. She can't. So Tension 2 is again, her reasoning is that, oh, well, I had more songs in the same vein and a sequel album made sense. But behind the scenes, the marketers are like, we can't drop Padam, we can't drop the word tension, you're known for this, so it just makes sense. Tension 2. Someone pointed out to me recently, they wrote to me, thank you, I can't remember who you were and I apologise, that Meatloaf had a sequel album. And I don't know why that person felt compelled to tell me that, because that doesn't make me feel better or worse about Tension 2. But Meatloaf had a sequel album, so it's not the first time it's been done.
Oh, tell that to Carly fans. They don't even know who Meatloaf is. Was.
Is Meatloaf still alive? I don't think he is.
No, he died.
Yeah, he did. He did a
ago.
performance here in Australia. He performed at a footy grand final and was roasted, which is quite unfortunate if you're Meatloaf. But he was absolutely roasted for it, and that was a few years before he passed away. But he wasn't looking well. His whole head looked like a beetroot, poor man. But what a brilliant talent Meatloaf was in his prime.
Definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, John, I've got to let you go.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you so much. I mean, you said 15. I said I'd like to be on a bit longer to talk about tension, and it ended up in this.
Well, you're a lovely person. Good luck with all your writing. I hope that you find the time and the space and the motivation to sit down and put pen to paper, so to speak. Nice talking to you, John.
Thank you so much for being on the show, for letting me be on the show.
And now it's your turn. It's time to talk back.
Hello, my man. I hope you're doing well. I hope that things with you and family are going good. I just wanted to say hi and cheers as I just listened to the Tension 2 Months Voice Enhancement episode that you and Nathan did. And I appreciated the little shout out you did regarding my comment about the Eurovision sounding of Tension 2. And your words are very sweet, so know that I'm always here to talk about Kylie anytime, any debates, I'm always here to talk. I just listened to the episode about the F-bomb, about Kylie, that whole debacle, the scandalous debacle that was. Personally, I'd have just loved to have heard her say the F-bomb in her classy Australian accent. That would have been something. But yeah, I hope that you're keeping well, and take care, mate.
And as always, thank you to everybody who's sent through a voice memo, and for those people who send through messages. It's really appreciated. This show is all about you, so make sure you take the plunge and send us a voice memo as well. Just get your phone out. There's a voice memo app there. Record your voice memo and email it to us at timetotalkaustralia@outlook.com. Madam Roast Beef, everyone had to be patient with me. We were ready to head into the studio, and this almighty storm opened up above the studio, and there was hail and there was lightning, and I said to you, Madam Roast Beef, didn't I? I said, there's no way I'm putting on headphones and connecting myself to the top of my house.
Yeah, gotta be careful, especially in bad weather. Oh my God, that's the worst.
Would you reckon that's ever happened? Do you reckon that if I was wearing my headphones, here's a thing for all the listeners, you can write to me, timetotalkaustralia@outlook.com, because it might be one of those myth busters. But if I'm wearing my headphones, I'm connected to, excuse me, a studio and connected to the electrical sockets all over the shop. Could the lightning hit the roof and then buzz my head off?
I absolutely would not risk it. That 100% sounds like an electroshock therapy session waiting to occur. That sounds very scary. That sounds very scary.
It's what they did to the gays in the 50s, don't you know?
Oh my God, how horrifying is
Now
it
just
to
put a
look
piece of
back
a
at
wood
that?
block in between my teeth and I'd be right.
So scary, this life. The history of this world causes me to shiver. And I know we're going to talk about, oh my God, the possible future. Oh my God, Tim, I'm so afraid.
All right, let's get this straight. You were paid by the Kamala Harris campaign to do work to promote her campaign. So
I was going door to door all over town, working directly to get her.
what were you getting when you
elected.
knocked it? Hang on, let me just do a sound effect with my knuckles because it's not high tech here.
Right.
Hello, this is Madam Roast Beef. I want to talk to you about Kamala. What do they say to you?
So I wouldn't say I want to talk to you about Kamala. I would say, hi, I see that you're a registered voter. Are you voting in this upcoming election? They would either say no, and they'd slam the door, no soliciting, or they would say, yeah, I'm voting. It's really scary what's going on.
With the election outcome being everything you never wanted to happen, is this a case that Madam Roast Beef is a sore loser, or is it
Not at all. Not at all. I'm so happy people voted.
question? Listen to the question, Madam Roast Beef. We've got to have a conversation. This isn't one of your vlogs. You're on my show now.
Right.
I would imagine with the way that Kamala ran her campaign and the media, the legacy media, ran a campaign against Trump, if I was a young voter, I would be scared about a Trump presidency given what they said. Are you scared of a Trump presidency or just a sore loser?
I'm not a sore loser. What I'm scared for is I am scared for the possible outcome that could come with unchecked power. Because
what
he
is that?
He is.
What is the possible outcome? Nuclear war? What are you talking about?
So not nuclear war, but also at the same time, nuclear war is very possible. Do you know what's happening in Ukraine? The Ukraine war is over. It's done. Russia's taking Ukraine. And the reason I say that is because Ukraine is actually using a technology called Starlink, which, if you don't know, is Elon Musk's company. It was the biggest reason that they were able to defend themselves against their invader, which was Russia. Mm-hmm. And Elon Musk is already talking with Putin, reports are saying, already discussing what he's going to do, giving who knows, God knows what secrets from Ukraine, a nation defending itself from an invader.
But madam, it's a bold prediction to say that Trump's just going to let Putin have the Ukraine. Don't you think there's going to be some sort of compromise in the middle?
No, I would 100% say that's not going to happen. I would 100% say that Trump is indeed flattered by rich dictators. He already said he's going to be a dictator on day one. Just so terrifying. People want to make excuses. All I'm going to say is in 4 years, I actually have a lady that's an artist that was working with me on the Kamala Harris campaign. She's probably in her late 60s. She literally is asking me to leave the country with her. She's literally, because she's an artist and she has thousands of paintings and she's a really great artist. She's like, you have the internet expertise. Why don't you help me sell some of these paintings and let's get out of this country?
Look at you go, Matt. Always with the little schemes. I love it. You've got an artistic lady in her 60s saying, "Come with me. You can do the internet, and I'll do the art." I love that.
It's so scary. It's so scary. The tax experts had estimated that Trump's tax plans and everything would estimate the average family would be paying $4,000 to $6,000 more dollars a year, or maybe it was $3,000 to $4,000 more a year. Terrifying. Not to mention tax experts also.
Can I tell you why I wanted to get you on the show, madam? Can I tell you why I wanted to get you on the show? Because
why is that?
Hand on heart, I really do worry about not just you specifically, but many people out there who are absolutely convinced to their core that Donald Trump equals a catastrophe for them on a personal level and for their country. And believe me, I respect that totally. It means that you have pride in your country. It means you have pride in yourself. You don't want there to be a catastrophe, right? But my proposition to you is that possibly you've been deliberately scared about the man who's about to take the White House again. Is it possible that you've been fed lies and they have literally scared you to pieces?
So he's a 34-time felon, an adjudicated rapist. Days before the election, tapes from Jeffrey Epstein's voice, a massive pedophile and child abuser, said that he was best buddies with Trump. I don't think Trump's a good person. I think he's a maniacal, terrifying person. And I think anyone that would make an argument against, well, he's maybe not the worst guy, he is the absolute essence of evil.
What about that argument though that he's held office before and there wasn't the doomsday scenario?
Do you not remember January 6th? There's 186 pages of documents proving that he knew that he lost the election and decided to throw an attempted coup, call his supporters to the Capitol, and take control of the election before by his vice president, who was being called to be hung, could take and do a peaceful transfer of power.
I understand why people would have some ethical issues with Trump. I have ethical issues with Trump. I wouldn't want Trump to lead me, but I am not scared that Trump is about to destroy the planet. And when I hear people so frightened to the extent that you seem to be, and many, many, many others like you that are literally crying because this is the end of the world, it tells me that somebody has done something terrible to them. They have scared them to death, and it was deliberate, and it was to get your vote, Madam Roastbeef.
Well, Tim, I'm definitely not scared to death. I am.
You sound scared to death.
So I have brain cancer, and I survive off my Social Security disability.
Yep.
Experts are saying that Trump might bankrupt Social Security with his plans. So is that not an irrational thing to be scared about?
I think it is irrational because he was in office before, and there was no social benefits cut under Trump.
He also was not a 34-time felon. He also did not try to take over the government.
So you think he's evolved into a bigger monster than he was?
He also did not have the House and the Senate and the Supreme Court. He has everything. There is unchecked power. The founders of this country could not even prepare for something like this happening.
Have you listened to his speech? Did you listen to his victory speech?
It was mostly ramblings about Elon Musk's rocket, the weave, as he calls it. Yeah, I did unfortunately listen to it.
All right, terrifying. Well, just close your ears if you need to. We're going to listen to 30 seconds.
Help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country, and we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy?
I think that you are a wonderful, creative, thoughtful, curious person. I really do. I have nothing but respect for you. And that is why it really concerns me that this outcome has left you feeling, well, you're saying you're not scared, but everything you're saying sounds to me like you are extremely scared about the next 4 years.
I wouldn't say scared. I actually 100% did film before I started working with the Kamala Harris campaign, and I was talking with people directly, because when I was talking with people directly, I 100% said that women voters outnumbered men, I would say 3-1. It was actually shocking, the amount of female voters. Thank God my district in Nevada, the Las Vegas district, did vote for Kamala Harris, but I'm the only district in all of Nevada, my state, that did vote for Kamala.
That might have been because of your work.
It's not because of me, but at the same time, I'm happy to have used my voice and to share my opinion, to directly interact with people, because 100% he is not a good person.
Do you have any respect for Trump voters?
I have respect for people that voted for him in 2016. I have respect that people. I have some less respect for people that voted him for him in 2020, and I would say I have no respect for people that voted for him.
You have
in
no respect for people who
2024.
voted for him in 2024. That's a
Not
lot of
even a
people
little
that
bit.
you have no respect for then.
No respect. It was so clear. So I mean, just controversy after controversy after controversy that was just completely ignored, completely just not even acknowledged by any media outlet. I mean, it was actually hard to keep up with the insanities that he was saying.
Do you remember you came on the show and you spoke to Trump supporter Sean, right? I've put it to Sean, I've had him on the show, the current episode that's up, and I said to him, listen, now that the outcome is known and Trump is, let's say, likely to be the president again, he's the president-elect now, God knows what happens in your country, he might not make it to the White House, but I asked him, I said, people are scared, Sean, what do you say to people who are scared about this presidency? And here's what he had to say. A lot of our listeners are scared, Sean and Peter, and let's honour them and acknowledge them for a moment, okay? Let's not dismiss them the way the Harris campaign dismissed so many people. What do you say to people that are scared now that Trump is back in the White House, that there possibly is going to be nuclear war, that there's going to be more division, that there's going to be riots, whatever they're thinking? What do you say to people who are scared of a second Trump presidency?
I just say that you don't need to be scared because we already know what a Trump presidency looks like. We already know. We've already been it. We've already done it.
How great was that?
We know what a Kamala Harris presidency will look like because we lived it with Biden and she didn't change anything.
What do you have to say to that, madam?
I would say, yeah, we definitely saw a Donald Trump presidency, and it started off really good because he was riding on the back of Obama's presidency prior in his economy. It was definitely not Donald Trump's economy, and I would say it ended in flashes of misery and terror. I actually watched an Obama rally in Las Vegas that he was doing for Kamala Harris, and he said, I left Trump an entire plan for what to do when and if a pandemic happened, a contagious disease broke out. And actually, a lot of people don't know this because they don't acknowledge the facts. The Obama administration was actually the one that started developing the vaccine for COVID. Again, people don't talk about it because they're not aware of the world. It was very aware that it could happen.
How could the Obama administration have started developing a vaccine for COVID when it didn't exist at the time that he was in office?
It did exist. It wasn't being massively spread around, but there was.
It came out of Wuhan in 2019.
Right, and whatever the disease, I don't know all the specifics of it, so I don't like that you're putting me on the spot. But the disease, the vaccine was. Well,
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I don't think it's possible that you can claim Obama was developing a vaccine for COVID when it didn't exist while he was in office.
Okay. I like I said, I don't know all the details. Regardless, Obama left Trump a plan for a pandemic. Had he followed that, the plan would have been something similar to what Canada did, and the death rates would be similar. An estimated 400,000 more people would be alive had Trump followed any of those plans. He followed none of them.
There's another topic I think we'll respectfully disagree on, which is Kamala's speech, because I know that you give her high praise for the speech she made finally, by the way, because she went home and left her supporters just standing there, which was extremely cowardly. But I'm going to give you a free kick. Why do you think Kamala's speech was so triumphant?
I wouldn't say that it was triumphant, but I would say it was very great because unlike anything that Donald Trump has ever done, Kamala Harris was actually inviting a coalition. She was inviting Republican voters that disagreed with Donald Trump, which there were many Republican voters that disagreed with Donald Trump. And she invited them. She's like, this is coalition. We can agree, but we can disagree, but we can also agree, and we can move to have a better future and step forward towards that future.
Okay. So you're not going to like what I have to say, I would imagine. First of all, I've got a problem with Kamala taking so long to make her speech. Yeah, sure, she would have been distraught, she would have been distressed, she would have needed time to decompress. But if she was truly presidential, she would have marched out to those people, as Hillary did not do this either. And she would have addressed the people that had put in the work, people like yourself who were there at the convention centre hoping for a victory, didn't get it, and the leader doesn't even come out at that stage. That is a disgrace, number one.
Are you fully aware that she probably was not prepared?
Are you telling me that she wasn't prepared for all contingencies? That's not very presidential, is it?
Just the same way that nobody thought Donald Trump would win in 2016.
She got up there, made a big point of, I concede, and this is something that Trump didn't do. But then once again, she created the mythical beast that scares people like you. We need to fight. We need to fight. Fight what? That is not unity. She showed absolutely no dignity in her exit speech.
Tim, I'm very uncomfortable and I disagree with everything you're saying. I don't think it makes any sense.
Go for it. You're allowed to disagree with me.
I 100% think what she was referring in her reference was fight for what we fought for this entire campaign. For all the hard, she literally thanked everyone, all the volunteers specifically. She specifically thanked people that went door to door throughout her entire campaign trying to get people knocked. She specifically mentioned everyone, not name by name, of course there was millions, but she mentioned everyone that put all the hard work in trying to get the first female president, the first woman of color elected to the presidency.
And something I notice about the United States very much, there's this pride in telling people and calling on people to take up arms almost to fight. The most dignified speech she could have made, and she didn't do this throughout the campaign, so I certainly didn't expect it in her exit speech, was to say, I understand why people turned to Trump, because you're in financial pain. You're worried about the cost of living. You're worried you're not going to be able to afford a house. And you've told me before that's one of your biggest concerns. If she'd honoured the reasons people turned to Trump, even if she didn't agree that he was the man with the answers, she should have honoured the reasons people turned to Trump, rightly or wrongly. But no, she didn't. She told them to fight. Stop in your country, please. Both sides, stop fighting. Fight. Why not debate? Why not converse?
I 100% think that you're taking the word "fight" too literal. I think she meant
it's a very emotive word, madam.
Fight for the next election. I fight for the future. Fight for what you believe in. Fight. But
why?
For what
why? Even if I take your softer definition of the word, why fight? Why not work for the future? Why not have conversations about the issues?
Because why
not enter into dialogue? Why is the rhetoric fight?
As she said, hard work is good work. You have to put a fight for the future.
After she's miserably failed and she's in a puddle on the floor and she's still saying, fight against this man. No, unify behind your democracy.
Oh my God, Tim, unify. I'm so scared of you.
Sorry, mate. I call it as I see it.
I'm so petrified. I very, very, very strongly disagree. Very, very, very strongly disagree.
Absolutely. And that's a lovely thing. And look, we're not fighting. We're conversing about it. And the thing is, you went out there and you door knocked for what you believed in. I have total respect for that. As I say, I'm glad Trump's not leading me. I think he's a very reckless with his words. I think he's very impulsive and reactive and all of that sort of stuff. But I think that the other side for me was a lot less palatable than Trump. At least with Trump, I knew what sort of wild ideas he had.
Oh, we have no idea. We have no clue what's coming.
Are you sort of hoping that he does a bad job so that you can be proven right?
I'm sort of hoping that it doesn't happen so you can be proven right. But if it does happen, I will giggle. I will giggle.
I'll let you on the show to put the middle finger in my face.
Please, I will giggle quietly in Portugal. Is
that where the art lady's going, is it?
That's 100% where she wants to go, yes.
Now, tell us about your channel. You're going really well at the moment, aren't you? You're getting lots of subscribers, lots of views.
Well, no, I wouldn't say so. I would 100% say we're back in the struggle, but at the same time, life is short, and I'm fighting.
People love your videos, though.
Well,
they love them.
I wouldn't say that, but at the same time, I love.
Why are you so
them.
down tonight, madam? No, they do. I read the comments. People talk about, I love your style, I love your sense of humor, I love your eccentricity. I see your comments. They're great.
God, You should see some of the on the other side of the table.
What do they say?
Honestly, I would just take a look at a few of the my reactions to the entirety of the election. On my TikTok, there were a lot of MAGA morons saying a lot of things.
And now you're talking to one now, apparently.
Are you a MAGA moron?
I hope not. I'm certainly not a Trump supporter. I just really object to the...
Tim, I didn't think so. That's why you confused me.
No, well, I mean, look, like I say, it's just I found it much more objectionable what the other side did. I mean, to try to demonize the man and scare people like you, and you said you're not scared, but by the way, you made a bit of a slip about 3 minutes ago. You said you're scared. You literally said it.
I'm nervous.
How dare they scare the people in your country? How dare they scare young people? Scare campaign. Didn't work.
I disagree. It 100% was not fear mongering on the Kamala Harris campaign.
So
all the fear that I have were 100% based on my own observations, and I came to my own conclusion.
So nothing to do with the fact that they kept comparing Madison Square Garden to a Nazi rally.
Well, there was swastikas at that rally. There 100% have been many swastikas at the KKK endorsed candidates.
She did a job on you, madam. She did a real good job on you. She's not a nice person at all.
Has there not been swastikas at Trump rallies? I could show you thousands of photos if you want to see them.
I'm sure there are SWAT stickers put under comments in my video. It doesn't mean that they're representative of me.
No. The swastikas with people holding swastika flags and then also holding Trump signs. Have you not seen these photos?
Do you really believe that Trump is akin to Hitler?
He slept with his speeches next to his bed. He slept with his novel Mein Kampf next to his bed.
So does that mean every student who's ever studied World War II has some affinity with Hitler?
His attorney general compared him to Hitler. God, his own vice president-elect said he was America's Hitler before he was offered God knows what to become
madam,
the VP.
I've got a news flash for you. I've read Mein Kampf. Does that mean that I'm Hitler?
I would 100% say if you slept with it next to your bed, and then use that exact language in your political rallies.
She did a number on you, madam.
It's not a number. It's simple observations. A 34-time felon.
Now, if the point is it's unusual to have someone with a criminal history in the White House, wow. I agree with you on that. That's fascinating.
It's not unusual. It's not unusual. It's the only time it's ever happened.
Well, that would count as unusual, I would have thought. The only time. That's an unusual situation. Someone asked me over here in Australia, is it possible to run to be the Prime Minister of Australia if you have a criminal conviction? I actually don't know the answer to that. It is really interesting and something I'll look into, actually. I am curious. So, yeah, and like I say, I take people's issues with Trump seriously and I totally understand them. What I don't understand is the level of fright that some people have. But look, we've had that conversation. I just hope that you can...
Tim, I hope your lack of worry is right, and I hope that I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want a beautiful future. At the same time, I'm not going to say that it's weird that Donald Trump won. He won the popular vote, but received 3 million less votes than in 2020, and he won every swing state. The math doesn't add up. It's very weird. And it's very weird, especially when you hear stories about bomb threats in blue districts and ballot boxes being thrown out. I'm not going to...
You're not going there, are you?
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
He didn't rig the election, madam.
But 100% there was Russian interference, and I told you directly why Russia would want that.
This isn't Madonna, and I love listening to Time to Talk.
Well, if Donald Trump had agreed to a second debate, we would have been able to have a better chance. But of course, the pussy said no because he realized, holy shit, the nation really sees that I'm a goof.
Well, she did win the debate. She did
slaughtered.
Win the debate.
She did so good, and he refused to do a second one. Had he done a second one, which is why he did not, he would have lost.
Now, Madam Roast Beef, can I ask you a completely unrelated question?
What's my favorite color of Jolly Ranchers? Probably blue. I'd say probably blue. I
Not
love
red?
blue. Oh God, I'm not a red lover.
My question is,
Definitely
do you
not.
know who Troy Sivan is?
Oh, I love Troy.
Yeah, I
actually
thought you would. I thought you
am
would.
am I able to share something with you as I currently
You
have
haven't
a
slept with
whopping,
him, have you?
a whopping, slopping, flopping, wet ass pussy? I wish I slept with Troy Sivan. I would cut off both legs. I would dismember myself at 2:30 in the morning to sleep with Troy Sivan.
Wow.
I actually,
It's a bit extreme.
oh no, Troy Sivan, he's beautiful. Look at him. Oh my God, I'd kill myself with a smile.
And he's Australian.
And he's Australian. He's so gorgeous.
Well,
and
he's partly South African.
And he's just fun. He's just funny. He's very, very cute. He's very cute. I love Troye Sivan. I actually just recently purchased a liquid filled record. There literally is a liquid inside the record it's literally inside the vinyl disc.
For what, Troye Sivan?
Of his last album.
Get out, really? I love that last album.
So cool.
I love that last album.
It's gonna be very, very limited. Do you want me to send you the link? You 100% should.
I'd love to see it. Yeah, liquid filled vinyl.
Liquid. There's
so
liquid.
If you bit into it, what would happen? Jolly Rancher time.
The material is vinyl. I don't think your teeth would be able to.
I'm a little bit eccentric, Madam Roastbeef.
Eccentric, electric, and totally vibing. I honestly am vibing. I'm just very, very afraid. I'm not afraid. I'm nervous.
No, just go with the first word that you chose, because that's what you are, and that's what she did to you.
No, she did not. Experts are saying he's going to bankrupt Social Security. I'm disabled. I have brain cancer, and I would prefer that not to happen.
I promise that Trump is not going to end your disability benefits or whatever the type of that will not happen.
So if he does, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? You're going to call me on and say, "Wow,
100%." 100%. I will fly over there and march on the Capitol and fight for your freedom.
Exactly. No. If it happens, I want it on record that you're flying.
I'll bring Troye Sivan and Kylie Minogue with me.
Exactly.
We'll link arms.
I 100% want my Aussie squad here fighting with your beefy bitch for sure. I think the world deserves that.
Yeah.
Also here, I just sent you the link to the Troye Sivan.
All right, I'm going to have a little look at that, ladies and gentlemen.
I want a live reaction. It's a honey-filled liquid LP.
Oh, it's in this little X thing, is it?
His third studio album, Something.
I'm surprised you're on Elon Musk's platform, by the way.
I like Twitter, even if I'm afraid of Elon or Musk.
Okay. Oh, look at that! It's like a honey hive.
Isn't that so cool?
Is that yours?
My honey hive?
No, did you film this video?
No. That's the record label themselves.
I have never seen, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Roastbeef is absolutely right. This is something to behold. It's a vinyl spinning on a record player.
Liquid,
and it's got it looks like liquid honey inside of it, and it's moving. It's like a lava lamp, really, right?
Yeah, it's so cool. And it's sold out. I didn't even realize it sold out. How sad.
Well, good for you. I'm so glad. I don't know what it was. Troye Sivan, I went back on a little Troye Sivan spree a couple of days ago, and you came into my head because I thought, you know what, Madam Roastbeef would love Troye Sivan. But there you go. You're already onto it.
The twink stink. I love Troye Sivan.
What the hell's a twink stink?
The twink stink. I want the twink stink on me till my eyes are pink.
Oh, is that a lyric from one of his songs?
It's from one. Is it something I wrote? Because I'm unhinged. The twink stink.
I don't know. You teach me a lot of new words, madam.
Well, my vocabulary may be expansive, but it's also just a little erratic for sure.
No, it's not. Well, I hope you're doing all right. And I didn't mean to upset you, but I think Kamala was there first. Let's be honest.
I was 100% a little triggered because I didn't realize that you are a conservative. I didn't realize this. Tim, I didn't realize
this is what she does. This is what she does. No, anyone who doesn't believe in her is a radical conservative, which I am not.
I didn't say you were radical, but I 100% would say that you that you do have some conservative beliefs. I have conservative beliefs, not many. Holy shit! I don't even identify as a Democrat. I would say I'm a progressive who always votes Democrat.
Well, I love the fact that you're politically minded. I just don't. I draw my line when people scare the the bejesus out of voters. I think that's absolutely. By the
So
way,
January
that's
6th,
a bit of a Hitler technique in itself.
January 6th, what was what scared me, not Kamala Harris.
Fair enough.
And also Trump's words himself.
Are you going to talk to me again now that you've identified me and outed me as an extreme conservative?
I 100% just had sex with a Trump pumper. I'm not. I'm 100% not going to exonerate you just because you are a little bit.
Not just before you speaking to me.
Oh no! Oh my God! No! This happened honestly even before the election.
Did you know that they were a Trump pumper before or after?
I did. Before.
How do you live with yourself?
Well, because I actually have multiple Trump pumper boyfriends that I've had.
Wow, that must be a conflict for you, to say the least.
Oh, it makes the hate fuck honestly really good.
Okay, I'm.
It really does.
Now, hate fucking Jesus.
It's true. I'm just being honest. I'm keeping it real with you. It 100% is what it is. Because how dare someone be so stupid?
Hey, Time to Talk family. This is Tim Power, host of the podcast where amateurs talk about icons. To keep our show commercial free, we rely on your support. Many of you have chucked in just a couple of bucks, or sometimes more, which lets Time to Talk Australia pay its way. There's no obligation, of course. Keep listening to us no matter what. Liking and sharing our content is also a huge help. But if you do hear something that you like and you think you can support the show by throwing in a couple of bucks, head to patreon.com/Time to Talk Australia. The link is in the description of this podcast.
Hi Tim and Time to Talk listeners, this is Danny from Melbourne, and I'd just like to say your latest podcast made me very angry.
And as always, we want your voice memos. If you've heard something that you agree with, or possibly you're outraged, and let's be fair, many of you listen simply to be outraged, then take out your phone and record a voice memo. Cap it at around the 2-minute mark, and then send it to me. I listen to all the voice memos that come through, and occasionally we include them in the show. Our email is timetotalkaustralia@outlook.com. Thanks for sharing, rating, contributing, and donating to this very little podcast from Down Under. I genuinely love our little Time to Talk family, because lovers of pop are an endangered species. So, why don't we go extinct together?
So that's all I have to say. Get off the airwaves, you're such an amateur.
Our Kylie's heading your way and you're not going to go and see her.
No, I'm going to see her. I'm going to see her in Phoenix. I just don't have a job because, like I said, I got fired from my job earlier. I said that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy tickets for the Phoenix date. I'm hopeful, but I just
How far is Phoenix from you?
I would say it's probably just like a 4-hour bus ride.
4 hours? Oh my god!
Oh yeah, it 100% is a journey. But at the same time, I have.
She's going all around the country. She must be coming closer to you than that.
No. Phoenix 100% is the closest way.
Fair enough. But it's the finances that are holding you back.
Yeah, mommy madam is a broke girl, unfortunately, at this current era.
Are you working on the job front? You're still flogging away?
I'm trying so hard to find a replacement. At the same time, with me being, a forgetful, clueless, really struggling nightmare, it is hard. At the same time, I do ride public transportation where homeless ladies try making out with me and many other and so many other. Oh my God, so many other scary things. It's hard. At the same time, I'm going to get a replacement. It's just difficult.
Now, Madam Roast Beef, it has been lovely talking to you.
Oh my God, how long have we chatted? I love that this is going to be 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It's been an hour and 20 minutes.
We'll listen back. We'll work out whose fault it was. Probably mine.
Oh my God. No. It was 100% probably my insanity and ramblings. At the same time, we were all over the place, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We're vibing.
We're vibing. We're
vibing and we're surviving. And I really hope I didn't offend anyone by saying Gregory Mordor. I honestly think Giorgio is one an amazing and oh my god, immensely talented artist, producer. I just the music.
Even if he does look like an old scrotum.
But not an old scrotum. I never said the word scrotum. I don't even use that. That word's not even in my vocabulary. I 100% did call him old fart. He is an old fart. 83 years old. If 83 years old is not old, girl, what fucking fossil are you? What dinosaur are you? What Jurassic Park creature are you? Because 83 years old is old. And a 25-year-old living with brain cancer that probably won't make it to 30 can say that 80 years is old because that's not.
Look, I don't dispute that point. I mean, look, every year he goes in for his annual carbon dating.
What is that? Carbon dating? He's a fossil. He really is a fossil. He had to get his fossil checked.
Goodbye, Madam Roast Beef.
Bye, Tim. Thank you very much. And goodbye, everyone.